You are listening to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. I am your host, Shanel Scott. I'm a psychic medium and energy healer who has been supporting those on a spiritual journey for over a decade. I'm your tour guide into the world of the unknown, showing you that the magic of the universe is at your fingertips. I believe spirituality is simple and fun, and this podcast will make it easily accessible, giving you the real talk on all things divine and spiritual, helping you to step into the flow. Manifesting your dreams because we all deserve to be living our best life. Are you ready for an adventure? Hello, sunshines, and welcome to another episode of Directions from your Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. Happy Halloween! I know this one was supposed to come out yesterday on Monday, October 30th, but I love Halloween so much. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see what I'm wearing. If you're not, I have my Haunted Mansion Cakeworthy on, and it's on the back, the saying glows in the dark. I love it. I love Halloween. So that's, the witch in me that comes out, and for a lot of us, it is Samhain. It is a time to celebrate the thinning of the veil. It's a 2-day kind of thing, but we're just going witchy today in general. I thought it'd be fun to talk about sigils today. Now, this isn't something that I've used a lot in my spiritual practice, but it is a really interesting practice. Now, I will say it doesn't have the best kind of background or history, because originally these sigils, these symbols, were used to summon demons and angels. The angel part's good. But stuff that is a little more out there, a little more heavy probably than what we're going to do with them today. This goes back a long time into the early 1900s, but ultimately sigils really became a lot more popular in the last probably 30, 40 years. It is a way to create a symbol that helps to bypass the conscious mind and head to the subconscious mind to create. So first of all, symbols are just a beautiful thing that when we see them, we recognize. So anybody who is a huge Disney fan and sees my shirt is probably going to know that this guy on the front holding candles is from the Haunted Mansion. Or if they see the H and the M on the collar, they would know it's Haunted Mansion. We don't have to think about it. We just know. It's the same thing. One of the most popular symbols we see every day probably is a stop sign, that red octagon. Even without the word stop on it, when we see that red octagon, our brain says, oh, this is for stopping. We don't have to think about it. It's just in there. There is tons of religious symbols, spiritual symbols, just symbols all over the place that we have in our subconscious mind that we don't actually think about. We don't have to go, oh, that's what this is. It's just there. It's just a consciousness. Even when you look at traffic lights, green light is the symbol to go. And it's kind of universal for the most part. So that's the whole kind of thought process behind symbols here, is that it's this automatic thing versus this conscious thing. So when we create a sigil, we are creating a symbol that we are implanting or putting into the subconscious mind, and we are bypassing the conscious mind, which is the part of us that gets in the way. Our conscious mind will be like, oh, you can't do that. That's not true. It will create blockages. It will create obstacles. It'll create every reason in the book why you can't do the thing that you are trying to do with your sigil, with your intention or desire statement. So by placing this in the subconscious mind, we are just activating an energy to be held. This is part of manifestation. So I like to compare this. It's not the same, but I want to compare it to a vision board. So a lot of people create a vision board, either digital or physical board of pictures and words that resonate towards what it is that you want to create. And in that, you have this subconscious, you look at that, and then you go, oh, that's what I want to create, without thinking about it. We're not using our logical mind around it. We're just looking at it and going, yes, we're doing this. This is what I'm creating right now. So this is the same sort of thing with the sigil. We're creating an intention or a desire statement that we are then creating a sigil around, a symbol around it. Then what we do is activate it in our subconscious mind to activate the energy of that. Then we release it and detach and let go. So it's that saying of let go and let God. Like, it's absolutely that. So whatever you call it, source, universe, God, whatever your choice of words are, we're releasing it out into the universe to trust that it is being taken care of. Of course, we still have to take action. Manifestation requires that, but it is not about festering about it, about thinking about it all the time. It's really this piece of like, I created this thing and I am releasing it to the universe to let it happen, holding the energy that it is possible. So when it comes to a sigil, you are going to create a statement that is a intention or a desire. Often it is an I am, I will, I wish, I desire kind of statement that we are creating. You want it to be short and sweet, and you want to use words that are impactful for you. Positive, clear, concise, inspirational, intentional words that are going to activate the energies. Because ultimately, when we're activating this sigil, we want to really hold feeling and emotion. That's important. That's an important part of manifestation in general. So you're going to create that first. Then from that, you're going to create your sigil, and we'll talk more about that, I promise. And then you will either decide to destroy it or keep it, depending on whether you're doing a permanent, a temporary, or a destructive sigil. Sometimes, and so I'm just going to say this part of it, I feel is really personal, and everybody's a little bit different. If you're going to fester over it because you can see it, then you're best off to actually burn it and release it so that you're not festering every time you see it, because that defeats the purpose. If you're someone that can look at it and just bring back those feelings and emotions, it might be really powerful for you to have it someplace you can see. And then, of course, your belief systems and that sort of thing will also fall into this. If you practice witchcraft, you may choose to carve your sigil into a wax candle and then burn it down to release it, or put it on a piece of wood and then burn it in a bonfire or in your fireplace to release it. Burning is one of these things that will activate it and release it all at the same time. Burning is just such a beautiful, beautiful spiritual thing. There is a metal bucket for me in my backyard that you can burn stuff in. Of course, be careful. Don't burn stuff inside. Take it outside. Make sure you have water, all those important things. But burning it releases it. It really is this beautiful ceremony. And that's what's going to happen when you activate it and you release it. We're going to have ceremony in that. Again, depending on how you decide to destroy it will depend on how you have that ceremony. If it's something very particular, like tearing it up, blowing the paper into the wind, like ripped up little pieces and sending it into the wind, you could put it in water, those little ripped up pieces, again, burning it. You could put it on a rock and then just bury it in your garden or put it in your garden. But again, it's this opportunity to release. As humans, we like to hold on to things. We like to carry all the weight. It's like we're carrying 6 backpacks and we just need to put them down. So in this, we are literally just connecting to the energies. We are holding on tight to that while we activate it, and then we are trusting and releasing it out into the universe. It is so, so beautiful. If you are doing more of a temporary, this would be like your candle, carving into a candle and making it disappear. But you could also do something like use pen and draw it on your hand or your arm, and it's just going to wash off. Every time you take a shower, it's going to dissipate and dissipate and dissipate until it's gone. Someone suggested drawing it on the bottom of your shoes because they're always with you. And I think that's interesting because same thing, it's going to wear off slowly but surely, right? Ultimately, when we're done with that, whatever we've asked for, if we've created that, it's always best to release it. So destroy it in a ceremony and release it and give thanks, of course. We should always include gratitude and giving thanks. Whether it is completed or not, gratitude is always going to move things in a better direction. When it comes to activating I know we're going in reverse today. When it comes to activating your sigil, again, it's personal preference on how you activate it. There are lots of different ways that you could spend to activate it, depending again on who you are and what feels good for you. Maybe you just do a little ceremony with incense and candles, and just take time with that and really connect to the energy of it. If you're somebody that does energy work, Reiki, hands-on healing, maybe you'll send it energy that way to connect to it. You could use crystals, music, meditation, visualization, movement, dance, however you want to activate that sigil. Basically, you're activating the energy within it. You are increasing the energy within it and just really keeping that energy vibration nice and high. So taking the time to heart and feel the connection of the energy of it until you feel like it's infused or charged enough to do its work. This process is about implanting it into your subconscious mind. And I think every time I say implant, I am like, ooh, aliens implanting. It's not like that at all. We're not attaching things to you. You're doing this yourself, number one. Somebody else is not doing it for you. But it's about really like putting the impression of that symbol there to create the energy and hold the energy. Now, it is always best to create your own sigil because it makes it personal. You get to engage that sacral chakra and your creativity to create one. You're going to make it personal and your own, and it's going to hold a lot more energy by doing it yourself. So let's talk about the different kinds of sigils because we've explained how to activate it. We've explained how to destruct it, why we're going to do it, all of those good things. Now let's explain kind of the types of sigils. And then, you can always take a look and look it up and see pictures and that sort of stuff. I will definitely share some of the ones that I've created while I was putting this together for you in my social media. So go check that out to see some of the sigils that I've created. But this is the kind of the main ones that come up for creating a sigil. One of my favorites is the word sigil. This one, you're going to take your intention statement. You're going to take out all the duplicate letters of it. Then if it's still really long, also take out the vowels. And then what you do is take the remaining letters and you slowly but surely create a symbol using all of the letters. You can make them big and small. You can add embellishments to it. But it's just a really interesting way to bring all the letters together to create something that resonates for you. I think it's a really fun one. You can really play with your creativity to make the letters the way that you want it. And you don't have to just do it once. Like you can keep going and recreate it until you find something that really resonates and feels good for you. But I like this one. This one's really fun for me. It's like a challenge for the brain. And at the same time, it picks up the creativity piece of it too. The second one is pictorial. I am not an artist. If anybody's seen my artwork, I would not call myself an artist. I do love to watercolor paint, and I use drawing a lot in my intuitive work, but I would not call myself an artist. So I am not as drawn to this because I think I'm a little more hard on myself when it comes to the drawing piece of it. But basically, a pictorial sigil is actually taking your intention statement and then creating a picture or symbol using the intention statement. So I came up with a little list for you of kind of like things that might coordinate. So if you were talking about love, maybe you used a heart, protection, maybe a shield, strength, maybe a mountain, money, you could use a $sign, or abundance, a $sign. What else did it have? Unique, you could use a snowflake. For flow, you could use a wave. For clarification, cleansing or clarifying, you could use a wave or a raindrop, or another symbol for water for cleansing. You might use fire for strength because it's powerful, or the word power. You can kind of just think of the words that come up, and then you just create something based on your intention or your desire statement. You could use letters from the words or the actual words in it. It's really open to whatever feels good for you. Again, I don't enjoy this one as much. It feels more complicated to me. But if you're an artist, if you're someone who's really creative, this one might feel really good for you. And it's a little bit easier in the sense that we don't have to pare down that intention statement. We're just writing it as it is and then creating our symbol to make it. The next two kind of go together. There's a magic square, and then there's a magic circle or a magic wheel. So let's talk about magic square first. So this is 3 across, 3 down. So it's a square of 9. And all directions have to equal the same number. So horizontal and vertical. It is okay if diagonal doesn't, but ideally that is the most powerful, is when they all add up the same. So what you do, and you can do this with words as well. I believe with words, it's a 5-letter word, and same thing, it has to read the same way, up and down kind of thing. So if the word goes across the top and then it goes down the side, and so then the word, same thing, it'll go this way, and like horizontal and vertical, so that you're reading it. You'll have 5 words that are read in the same way. That feels really complicated to me as well, but it might be a fun one if you can pull together words that work together for yourself. The one with the numbers, though, is kind of simple. There is a chart. You just take, and it's easy to make, so you write down the numbers 1 through 9, which are the numbers you're going to use in your cube, and none of the numbers are repeated. You're using 1 through 9 in each of the squares, again, adding them up so they always add up to the same thing. A really common one that I saw a lot was 15. It's an easy one. If you Google it, that's the one that'll show up. And you can totally use that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Then you take a piece of paper, you can write down 1 through 9, and then underneath of each number, you start to write the alphabet. So A goes under 1, B goes under 2, C goes under 3. When you get to 9, then you start back at 1 again, and you keep writing the alphabet. Then you take your intention statement like we did in the first one, in the word one. You write your intention statement. You take out all the duplicate letters. Then if you need to, take out the vowels. Then you're going to look at the chart and you're going to go in order. So whatever the first letter is, you're going to draw a little circle and you're going to start there. Then you look at the second letter and what number it corresponds to, and then you're going to draw a line from the first one to the second one. Then the second one to the third one to the fourth one to the whatever, to get to the number of symbol or the number of letters you have in your intention statement. When you are done, you can throw another piece of paper over the top and trace that, your line, and that is your sigil. That is your symbol. Now, again, you can embellish it. You could add some dots or dashes or whatever little embellishments you want to create something that really feels good for you. Of course, use color. You could use paints. You could use markers, whatever feels good for you in creating that. But that is how you do a magic square sigil. The one that I did for peace yesterday was really beautiful. I'll share that again on my social media. You can check it out. But it's a really easy and simple way to do a sigil. The magic wheel or magic circle, again, is super easy. I've seen it kind of two different ways. One is a circle with the alphabet just straight around the edge in the inside of it. Circles contain your magic, so putting a circle around any sigil is a beautiful enhancement to contain the magic and to when you activate it. The second one is I've seen a circle where it is like 3 loops and it has the alphabet kind of in between all 3 loops. And then again, same as with the magic square, it's the same concept. You write your intention or desire statement, remove all your duplicate letters. Then you're going to take the first letter and draw a little circle, and then you're just going to start connecting all the letters until you have a symbol that is created. There is no, in both the magic box or square and magic circle, there is no rule about where the line has to go in the box. You can choose anywhere how it connects to the space that has your letter in it. You could do a curvy line, you can do a straight line, you can do whatever you want to get there. There is no rules around that. Again, this is a really creative process. I think that's why I like it so much. So just create it. Same thing as with the magic square, throw a piece of paper over the top, trace it, embellish it. You can thicken lines, add dots, dashes, little arrowheads, whatever you want to kind of create it and make it your own. You want it to feel good to you. So that's the ones, the main ones that I come across. Now, it was interesting when I was doing a little research, because I always like to just make sure that I have all my ducks in a row and tick all my boxes. I actually came across one that was called automatic writing, and it was kind of an interesting one. The woman that was explaining it said you just hold your pen really lightly and you draw all over the page. Just let your hand move, and it turns into kind of a scribble. She said when you feel complete, you stop and you look at it, and whatever part of that you're drawn to, you're going to copy that. So maybe you just darken up the lines and you trace over it, or you recreate it on another page, but then you just take a portion of that, the part that calls to you. I did try this one yesterday after I had seen it, and it was okay. I came up with a really pretty piece. Again, I can share that with you on my Instagram. You can check that out. And yeah, it's a different kind of allowing intuition to kind of take over, not controlling the hand, but just letting it move. So there's the different kinds of sigils. Again, we've talked about how to activate them, destroy them. It's a great and powerful practice. You don't want to go crazy. It's not like you're making sigils for everything, but it is just an interesting or a different way to kind of work with energy, especially if you're trying to manifest something in your life right now. It just might be something to add to your manifestation practice. And of course, I thought it was fun for a little good witchy vibes on Halloween. So that's everything today. I hope you enjoyed that. Sigils can be really fun. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into my inbox, or comment if you're on the podcast. I love hearing from you. If you are looking for things to do to work with me in person, I have Yoga Nidra guided meditation on November 10th from 7 to 8 p.m. I have a healing and activation circle, which is a group energy work. It is a beautiful, powerful process that I share, and this time we are focusing on fertility and growth. So if you are looking to get pregnant, if you are looking to birth a new business, a new project, if you're looking for growth, spiritual growth, this is a great opportunity to work on that. That is Friday, November 10th from 8:30 to 10 p.m. And then I'm doing a full day retreat on manifestation. Maybe we'll do a little sigil work in there. That is on December 3rd in Stony Stony Creek. It is a full day manifestation workshop. So manifestation, we're going to do some meditation, some energy work, all sorts of things to create your dream year. So that's what I've got going on right now. I am signing off because it's time to go get ready for some Halloween fun. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for being here on my journey and allowing me to be your spiritual tour guide from my heart and soul to yours. Until the next time. Bye now.